What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Colton Steiner, and this is my buddy, Sean Adkins, and this is the Grinding Gears podcast. Yeah, so hopefully everyone's having a great, whenever you're listening to this day. Yeah, we have a good lineup today for this show. How are you doing today, Sean?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I worked a long day, so I probably look a little rough, but you know what? I'm ready for this podcast. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. Got a lot of good topics in here, so...
Oh yeah, we got a lot of good ones, and it's a lot of them we talk about in our free time and we rant about, and it's one of those things where I think a lot of people feel the same. So we're going to start off talking about how gaming itself has gone downhill, and there's a whole lot of stuff that we can talk about that. And I think the biggest complaint, 99% of people have, is microtransactions. That's the biggest complaint everyone has, and it's so furious how that gets thrown into every single game. Now, there's some games nowadays that don't have microtransactions that are so fun to play, and most recently, the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game came out, and the game before that was the original Spider game. Now, while that didn't have a microtransaction, it did have DLCs. Now, I don't really think DLCs are microtransactions, but there's still an extra money you have to pay for to play more of the game, which I still think is a little really ridiculous, but still they were fun to play. But yeah, what are your thoughts on microtransactions, buddy?
I don't know. I just think it's overall kind of a bad idea. I mean, I guess you do support the publisher of the game, and you support all the development and research of all the upcoming whatever is in the games. But I just think it's really just a cash grab, and just kind of like looking at Rockstar as well. I mean, just to single them out. With all their shark cards and everything else, and you can't even buy a car in there without $1 million. I mean, it's just pretty crazy. And you look at Counter-Strike as well, all those boxes and skins and virtual skins. Like, to this day, I don't understand why anybody in their right mind would pay $1,000 for a pair of fake knives in a game.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you there.
That blows my mind.
And when you look at GTA 5, like GTA Online, it was back when it released in like 2013, when we were playing the game like right after that, like 2014, a year later. And the prices weren't that bad. Don't get me wrong, everything was expensive, but it's reached a point where it's just so incredibly bad that they're giving away millions of dollars. And back then you had to grind just to get $1 million. And I remember we worked so hard to get a tank. Remember that?
We spent I don't know, a couple hundred hours in that game trying to get a tank.
Because it was $1 million, and at that time, I think that was like one of the most expensive things you could buy in the game.
For sure.
Yeah, and it was so hard to get because the missions, they would pay out good money, but it just took a lot of time to do. But it was fun. It was fun, but over the years, now it's gotten kind of ridiculous because now you have all these incredibly weird cars they have, and I know you have to keep it fresh, but what they don't have is they don't have any new missions. They don't have any new missions at all.
Nothing. I can't even remember. The last time I actually even played the regular GTA Online, let alone remember the last time we played a GTA mission. I think the last one we played was the Los Santos Connection with like bicycles or something, just to drag it out to try to make it interesting. There's literally no content at all.
No, it wasn't. There literally wasn't. And my biggest gripe about that is then you continue to make this stuff, and that kind of goes on to the second part of this conversation about milking dead games. And don't get me wrong, I don't think GTA 5 or GTA Online is a game that is dead, but they're working so hard for people to buy shark cards nowadays that it isn't even fun anymore. Like, in order to buy what is it? No, here's the thing. In order to buy a car or a certain car, you have to buy a certain hanger. And in order to buy that hanger, you have to complete a certain mission. And that mission itself only gets you so much money. So, and then you have to get like $10 million to get that hanger. And it's just,
and who's going to want to spend that long grinding for a stupid virtual car? They're just going to go ask their mom and dad for their credit card and say, Mom, Dad, I want this Bravado Gauntlet or whatever, and call it a day. I mean, it's clever it's very clever how they do that, but it's also just very, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just irritating that they even get away with that. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. It's greedy.
When you look at it, they're not even caring about the quality of the game. They're
not caring about the customers.
Yeah, they're just trying to get as much money from it as possible. And you see what they're doing. People are still buying those shark cards, and it's just bad because now everyone wants GTA 6. And it literally just started on that apparently. Like, what was that? At the beginning in the middle of the summer maybe? And then COVID might have dragged it on, but yeah, right now gaming has gone downhill. And I mean, we've been talking about Rockstar, but in itself, there's not really any interesting games out there that are good. And that's why me personally, I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia, and what blows my mind, that's one developer, one dev, right?
Yeah. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
And how they're able to make that game so much fun, and considering it's one person, he's trying so hard to make it fresh and new. And I got to give that person props because it's not an inexpensive game. You don't have to buy microtransactions. You don't have to
no pay to win.
No pay to win. I mean, people have already kind of hacked the game to get glitches in it. But if you're playing in a private game, it really doesn't matter with friends and stuff. But it's because you can play that game for a couple hours and create challenges for yourself and have a whole bunch of fun situations that can pop up. So I'm really pleased by that. And I think there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel where there's hope for the gaming future. But right now, in the last couple of years, there's been nothing but disappointment. There's been nothing but laziness, and there's been nothing new. And
nothing.
I think that's the biggest problem is everyone's focused. And you look at EA Sports, that they're one of the biggest people that ride the microtransaction train, and it's ridiculous how they get away with it, and people continue to buy their game and milking that.
It's a dead, honestly, Colton, that's a dead game pretty much. It's the same game every year, just with different players.
Literally just
why do people why do people buy them? Why?
It got me. Like, when you look at the Madden franchise, it was a great game 10 years ago, but over the last couple of years, all it is roster updates. And this most recent one that I think I've heard is the worst Madden game they've ever released, because there's nothing good about it. And I don't know. It grinds my gears, dropping the title here, how they just don't create anything good. And when I've been watching a couple video games from back in the day where you had entertaining gameplay, like the NCAA college football franchise. You could spend hours in that game because it would focus on the gameplay and stuff outside the gameplay. So if you didn't want to play football the entire time, you could recruit, you could try and get players to your school, and you could do so much more than just play football. And nowadays it's just, you can play football, but what happens if I want to get players on my team? What happens if I want to change my customization of my team or custom roster, make a custom team? You can't do that anymore. And they took out the entire creative factor, and that it just pisses me off in the fact that they've gotten that lazy, because they're a good company. We know what they have done in the past, but they've just gotten really bad over the years, and hopefully
it just blows my mind how they've just gotten away with it. The whole stop buying these games, people. They will stop producing crappy games if we stop buying these games, like GTA. Stop feeding GTA so they can develop GTA 6. Let it die. Let Madden die. Let all other games that are like whatever, like those two games I just described, just let them die. Stop buying them. They'll develop something because they'll run out of money.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And like the shark cards in itself, why? What I don't get from Rockstar's perspective, okay, say they're going to make, like, they're selling a lot of shark cards, but I mean, if you create GTA 6, can't you just sell as many shark cards with that?
Yeah.
But it's just, I wish they would get out of this mindset that we have to milk this game so hard. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse. Just let it die. I mean, just let it go in peace. It's not a complicated issue. And even if like we didn't want GTA 6, try and make a fresh new game. I mean, you don't have to make Grand Theft Auto. You don't have to make a Red Dead Redemption, another one. What is that? Red Dead Redemption 2, which was a beautiful game.
Although that one's pretty good.
It was good, but it's kind of died over time. But I feel like that's going to get a similar aspect that GTA 5 did. Is they're going to beat it with like a dead horse. It's insane. Yep. Absolutely insane. And like they're trying to remake games too, and they're just not nearly as good. I mean, we need something new. We don't just want it. That's similar like movies nowadays. We want something creative. We want something new. We don't just want regurgitated content that is the same every year or every game. It's just different.
And counterpoint. I mean, we don't want the same game, but at the same time, the older games were actually a lot better. But like, I don't know. It's just like you said. Just make something new. Just make something more creative. Sure, it's nice to go back, to nostalgia land for 15 years ago and play Skate 3 or something, or Burnout Paradise Remastered. I've been playing that on the Series S, and like that's been a lot of fun. But like, I want something new. Like, I want something with great graphics and all that good stuff to actually use the hardware on these next gen consoles instead of just like, we're gonna like, make it work for these older games work with these new consoles and new hardware to kind of make them look a little better, but we're not going to actually develop a game that actually has good content, good graphics. You know what I mean? Like you said, just kind of keep beating a dead horse. Counterpoint there, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And
does that make sense? Or did I just kind of...
No, it makes sense. I mean, you want to remake like NCAA football. Great game in the past, and they're still fun to play, but it would be nice to get those updated graphics to 2020. Don't get me wrong. I was playing a lot of NCAA football 14. Beautiful game for the time, and still is beautiful. But when you compare it to like Madden, and as much as I complain about Madden, the graphics are up to date. They look really good, but it's just the gameplay itself is just the same every year with Madden.
Physics is still broken. I mean, I think that's one thing in sports games. No matter how much you update it, they're still going to get broken. Oh yeah. Well, I think I remember when you were doing the NCAA championship Twitch stream a couple months ago, how that one guy got absolutely blasted. It was hilarious, but I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah. And what was that? What happened? I returned a kick, ran out of bounds, and I got hit while I was going out of bounds, and the ball went backwards. I didn't get tackled, and then they returned it for a touchdown. It was insane. I was like, oh my gosh, so confused at that time because the physics didn't make any sense because the ball was in my right hand, and Anywho, that's how our thoughts on how video games have gone downhill, and it's a sad thing to see, but it's understandable. In the sense that everyone is in it to make money now. It's all a money game.
Yeah. Yep.
So moving on from the games themselves to the game consoles, we're going to be talking about the Xbox Series S versus the PS5. And you've had a chance to play some some games on the Xbox Series S. So tell me about that, and how's that experience been?
Well, actually, I do happen to have the Xbox Series S behind me here, and I'll just go ahead and grab it. It blows my mind how small this thing is. Like, I never would have thought such power would be in this little box. I mean, just look how small it is. Maybe I can kind of hold it up to the camera. Look how thin. It just blows my mind that this thing can actually play 1440p at 60 frames a second and still actually be really good. The gameplay has been really fun. This obviously isn't my console. I'm just borrowing it from a friend for this stream. So shout out to them for that. But it's the gameplay has actually been really fun. It blows my mind. I'm able to play like those backwards compatible games, the Skate 3, Burnout Paradise Remastered, all these different types of games, and it's been fun. And I've also played some newer games too, like Descenders.
Descenders is a fun game.
Yeah, the downhill mountain biking game.
Yeah, that's a fun game to play. And I've never played it. I've just watched people play it, and it looks like a blast to play. It looks difficult too.
It is so hard. I kept dying for like the first 10 minutes. I was just flying off the bike onto the hills. But like it plays the game so well. Actually, it was on a 4K TV, so it was 1440p upscaled to 4K. But I mean, I can get into that a little bit later, but it ran it perfectly around like maybe 55 to 60 FPS, and that's pretty good for a modern game. I also played Battlefield 5, which is a AAA game at 4K, 60 FPS, no problems, no issues, no stutters, nothing. It loaded fast. It's a great console. Okay, let me go on this tangent now. The loading times on this thing is insane. The SSDs that they put in this thing, that's the greatest thing that's the greatest advancement that's ever come to consoles, and I'm glad they finally put it in.
That time.
The Series S, it boots up in about like 10 to 15 seconds from a cold start, and if you have the instant on turned on, it literally turns on instantly, and you can be in a game within 15 seconds. Like, I can load Battlefield 5 within 15 to 20 seconds, and I'm hopped right into the game. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah,
and it's truly next generation.
Yeah, I'm very excited and happy to see where gaming is going. And when I look at the Xbox Series S and what you've told me about it, it's one of those things where I've been a PlayStation guy ever since the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was the first gaming console I ever had. I never got the original PlayStation. I got the PS2 to start, the big bulky one. I remember that, and then I moved down to the slim. But moving on from that, I never really got into Xbox. But when I look at the Xbox Series S, it looks so much better than the PS5 and so much more affordable.
Oh yeah,
and it's. The only downside is these like PlayStation exclusive games that you don't have access to, like the new Spider-Mans. Those are only on PlayStation. But then I don't know what's exclusive on Microsoft, like Xbox. Is that Forza?
Forza, Halo games? I'm pretty sure Halo games. I'm not really too familiar with exclusives on this console.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, unlike PlayStation, they try and keep it like where you can play it on every console. So like if you wanted to play on your computer, you can play it on your on the Xbox Series S. So and you show me videos of the speed times of you switching. You can have 2 games open and switch between games, right?
Oh yeah, I can have 4 games open at once. Like it is absolutely crazy. Like I can be playing Battlefield 5 and like, okay, let me switch to Skate 3. I don't want to play Battlefield 5 anymore because I'm sick of dying. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go to Skate 3. Go to Skate 3, 10 seconds. I'm right where I left off, mid-air in a skate jump and land and fall to my death. And then I get mad, and because I keep falling to my death, I want to go back to Battlefield. Go back into Battlefield, I'm dead there. Picked up to where I left off. It is absolutely an amazing experience. And that's something that PC doesn't have.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. But that's definitely a big thing, and I don't know if a PlayStation has that or not. Neither of us have it, and I don't know if any of us will get the PlayStation anytime soon. I know I won't because it's over. It's not. I wouldn't say it's overpriced. It's too expensive for my liking. But
yeah.
I know when I'm playing like an NCAA football game, or a Madden football game, or some sort of sports games. Okay, 2K NBA game. I rage in that. I don't want to break my controller, so let me switch on over to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Enjoy that. Or Spider-Man. Let me swing through the streets of New York. And so that's one where I don't know if it's on PlayStation. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's a huge thing for Xbox. And along with the backwards capability, we were playing Skate 3, which is a lot of fun too.
That game is a blast. I played that for hours.
Oh yeah, like I'm a big Tony Hawk Pro Skater fan, and when I look at Skate, I may lean towards Tony Hawk, but that's not saying Skate is a bad game at all.
Yeah,
it's still a good game. It's a very fun game. So
Tony Hawk's what you grew up with.
Oh yeah, 100%. One of my first YouTube videos I have on my channel. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's private or not, but it was Tony Hawk Underground 2, I believe, and it was.
I think that's still up. I think that's still up.
So go watch the cringiness that was. I recorded that on my phone. I didn't have a game capture. I didn't have a what was that? I didn't have a what's that? What is that capture card? Whatever the capture card is.
Elgato?
Elgato. I didn't have an Elgato. I always wanted one. And now I look at it and it's like $100. I'm like, I got one for $30 on Amazon now. Yeah. What I use for my camera, for my webcam, and what I use to record gameplay now is off a $30 capture card on Amazon. Yeah. But it's insane at the amount of awesomeness that is with the Xbox Series S. Yeah. And when you look at the previous gen, like the Xbox, what was that? What was it? One
Xbox
S? One? Xbox
One S?
One
something S? Like that.
And the PS4. I would give the upper hand to PlayStation there.
Oh, definitely
there. Yeah. But this one, I think it's hands down Xbox at this round.
Well, I think the biggest reason for that is the price point of this thing. This thing is $299. $299, and I can play any AAA game at 1440p, 60 FPS usually, give or take some, but and ray tracing. This thing has ray tracing too. This blows my mind. But it's just at $299, this thing is definitely a winner in my book, and it will definitely take, in my opinion, a lot of sales away from the PS5, and maybe the Series X too, because with COVID and everything, people don't have money to spend, and this is definitely a good option if you're not willing to spend a lot of money, but you want that AAA gaming performance without sacrificing your wallet. This is definitely a good contender.
How much is that? Is that $299?
Yeah, $299, $320 with tax and shipping. I believe that's what he said. So,
yeah, because then you look. Well, you're going to pay more in shipping too for the PlayStation 5. Yeah, or shipping or tax, whatever. You probably would get free shipping, but yeah, because that's $499, and I mean you can go down to $399 for the discless version, which I honestly don't know why you would do that. I still like having the disc itself, because then you can sell the game if you get old with it, get at least some of the money back, or trade it in, put that money towards another game. I mean,
I see your point.
Because even with the PS4, which had a lot of that, and I do admit some of my games I have on there, MLB The Show 19, NBA 2K19. And Tony Hawk Pro Skater, all of those are digital downloads. Now I have Star Wars Fallen Order, Madden 20, what's it? Battlefront 2, and what is Madden 20, Battlefront 2, and there's one more in there, but and Spider-Man, and those are all discs, and it's a pain to flip out the disc. Like, oh man, I can't just hop right in. It's easy. I know I have if I ever want to sell my console, I can get my money back with those games, at least some of that. I mean, not as much anymore since it's an older console and older games. But besides that point, if they were digital downloads, I couldn't get anything for them. I mean, yeah. So
I do see your point there, but I think consoles in general are kind of moving into the same way as PC is going. You know how like we have Steam, like we're never going to get any of those back. We take the games with us. I think the consoles are moving towards that, especially Xbox with the ginormous backward compatibility library. Like, I think they're getting to the point where like, okay, you know, we introduced the diskless version here. This is what we're going to be moving on to in the next generation, completely diskless, and your library is going to come with you. I think that's going to be the future, kind of like how PC is. Like PC did the exact same thing. Remember, we used to go to the store and get all these PC games and stuff. And now my computer doesn't have a disk drive. I don't think I built yours with a disk drive.
Nope, I don't have a disk drive either.
And I mean, it's just gonna come down to that, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's something similar to that is streaming movies and TV shows. Because remember, you would get the packs, like the box series of House. Yep. I know people that got the box series of House, Psych, and nowadays you can just go to a streaming service. You can watch those TV shows. And me personally, I can't remember the last time I bought a physical disc just to watch it. Like I bought the physical disc for Star Wars Episode 9 only because it's one of those things I need to have all 9 because I have every single Star Wars movie in physical form. So, but aside from that, all my movies I buy are digital now. So like The Wolf of Wall Street, I just recently bought on Amazon. It was like $7 and I can watch it right out of the go. And what else? Django Unchained. And I've spent so much money on digital downloads for TV, like for movies and stuff, that I hope I get some sort of, like, I hope Amazon never goes out of business because then I lose access to those movies. But I'm just hoping that those digital downloads for Xbox are, for PlayStation 5 are here to stay. And because PlayStation finally has backwards capability, well, to the PS4, and you know they're going to get better over time. But that's the biggest. I hope so. That's the biggest problem PlayStation has had, in like in the last couple of years, compared to Xbox, because Xbox has had that backwards capability. Yep. Yeah,
definitely. I think that's overall probably the biggest complaints with the PlayStation is, you know, the backwards compatibility and the price.
And I'm not saying it's a bad console at all.
For the price, it's good. It's just a lot. It's just wow.
Yeah, I mean, the price is a little bit more than what I would want to pay, and I don't know how much. Maybe they had to price it that much based on how much it costs to build each console. But if Xbox is getting away with it for $300. Then why can't PlayStation?
See, that's the thing. Like, okay, let's face it. Let's be real here. Nobody really has $4.99, $5.99 to fork out,
especially
right now.
Nowadays.
Like, nobody really has. And if you do good, you know, congratulations, good, whatever. But like the common person, they're just going to put it on their credit card or whatever. Go ahead.
And there was that. I remember seeing a meme. If your credit score is lower than the price of a PlayStation, you shouldn't be getting it.
Exactly. But it just blows my mind that going with the price, going back kind of to the price, that is $299. That is a Ryzen 8-core processor in it. Yeah. And a GPU that's equivalent, it's a little bit better than a GTX 1060, but because it has ray tracing and stuff. Yeah. Like, that's $299. My computer has the exact same specs, Ryzen 7 3700X 8-core processor, and a actual GTX 1060 because I can't get stock of any graphics card in it right now, and it's kind of annoying. But like, I paid over $1,000 for that. $299, $1,000. $299, $1,000. How is that possible? Blows my mind.
I mean, it's crazy how much it differs for building a PC versus building a console. I mean,
they might get deals. Different. They might get deals because it's bulk, maybe.
Yeah,
but like
probably.
But like, holy cow, that's a huge difference, and for the same performance.
I don't know if it's possible, but imagine a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox with a 3090 in it.
Oh my gosh,
that would be incredible. But
yeah,
that's
thick.
Four
C's of thick.
4 C's of thick.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first saw it, see the pictures of the Xbox and PlayStation when they first came out are so deceiving, because you get this picture of the Xbox, which looks like a mini fridge, and then the PlayStation, which just looks like a smaller, like a similar version to the PS4. But when you look at them side by side, the PlayStation is actually bigger.
It is ginormous.
It's humongous compared to the Xbox.
Yeah, looks like a router.
It really does. And I saw someone, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's going to be like a black version of the PlayStation. It looks sweet, but it looks like a freaking Wi-Fi router.
Yeah. Yeah, even really the white one does. It looks like a Netgear or a Linksys or whatever, you know, so it looks an Orbi.
Yeah. Well, moving on, we rambled and jambled about the Xbox S and the PS5, but let's ramble and jamble about what grinds our gears. And for you, what grinds your gears was your experience with your car. And so if you could run down on that and talk about that, that'd be great.
Oh my goodness. Where do I begin? Like, do I go back to my Chevy Cruze days? I mean, yeah. I mean, let's start with the Chevy Cruze. What really grinds my gears is I just keep getting bad luck with cars. I don't know why. I had a 2012 Chevy Cruze, and you can find this on my YouTube channel if you just go to Paul's Place on my YouTube, and you'll be able to find a lot of videos on it. And it is just, I bought it, drove it for like 5,000, 6,000 miles, and the water pump went out on it. And this is at like 36,000 miles. It's essentially a brand new car. Like, no wear and tear, nothing. So I was like, well, this sucks. So, got that replaced. Luckily, it was under warranty. And I keep driving it down the road and whatever. Transmission goes out 50-some thousand miles. And I was like, well, this sucks. Luckily, that time it was under warranty. Keep driving it down the road again. Transmission goes out again. This time it was out of warranty. That was expensive. What else broke on that thing?
I know the transmission was something that you had a problem with over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think you ever really fixed that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when I traded it in on my 2018 Elantra, it was still kind of meh.
Well, didn't it have like some sort of smell in it, like some sort of gas smell?
Yeah, that was going to be my next thing. Is you remember that is me, you, and
a couple friends of ours.
Yeah, a couple friends. And
we were
all going to Dairy Queen. Yes, you remember that.
Yep,
it's Dairy Queen. We were all riding in my car, and I opened the doors, and your guys are like, it literally just smells like gas in there. I was like, I'm like high on gas fumes right now. But nope, the dealer said it was normal. Yeah. Oh, that really grinds my gears is when the dealers say it's normal. And then I move on to my 2018, I almost said Chevy Cruze. I wouldn't buy one of those. Hyundai Elantra. And overall, it's been a good car. It's been pretty dependable. It's never let me down like the Chevy did. But like I've been having some front end rattle issues that I've gone to the dealer 10 times for, and they can't figure it out. 10 times.
You would think at that many times there'd be something they would be like, you know what? We'll just give you a new car. You've come here this many times. We can't fix it. We can't figure out what's wrong. We'll trade you. We'll buy your car back, trade it in whatever. But you've had the worst luck with cars. I mean, that Chevy, it was. What was that? Was that a 2012?
Yeah, it was a 12. Yep.
It was a 12. It was a 2012 Chevy. Was it 50,000 miles when you bought it?
No, I bought it at 30 and I got rid of it at like 75.
Okay. But still, it shouldn't have been having that many problems.
No.
That was insane.
And then after this whole front end rattle thing on this Elantra, my climate control system was stuck on defrost. And they said that, it was the humidity sensor that went out on it. And they're like, well, we've never seen that before. And then, not to mention all the paint coming off of the front bumper. Like I take good care of my cars.
You take really good,
immaculate care.
I don't take good care of my cars.
I wash, I wax my cars. I use the 2-bucket method. I am I wash it regularly. I wax it. I seal it. I do everything by the book.
What is it?
And paint cars just falls off the front bumper. What is this?
Well, I don't know what that is. What is the two bucket method?
So so you have one bucket full of your soapy water. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you have a second bucket full of clean water. And what you're supposed to do is when you dunk your bucket or dunk your sponge into the soapy water bucket, wash your car. And then after you're done with like a panel, you dunk it into the one with clean water to rinse off all the contaminants off the sponge, like all the dirt contaminants and brake dust it might pick up or something. Mm-hmm. So you don't put it back on the paint when you grab the next soapy sponge or whatever and smear it all back on your paint. So that's the whole thought process with the whole 2-bucket method.
That makes sense. That like when you think of it in retrospective, that makes sense on why you would do that. So I don't understand why the paint on your cars just starts coming off. I remember on I had a, was that 2001 Toyota Camry Solera.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't know if this was, I would park my car outside, always sit outside in the sun. And I didn't really wash my car as good as I should have, but the paint on the front of it would just peel off.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
It looked terrible. And
it's like sunscrew. It's got sunburnt. It's peeling off.
And it was weird because when I took it to get fixed, the people who do great jobs, the detailing cars and fixing dents, stings, and paint peelings, they said we tried our very best to make the paint match. I mean, if you looked at it, I mean, for the most part, you couldn't tell that it was a different paint, but when the sun shines on it just right, you could tell that, that it was just a little darker than the side.
Yeah.
But I don't, going back to your car and your paint, it shouldn't, 2 years after you buy the car, you shouldn't be running into this problem.
And to kind of follow up on that, the main reason this grinds my gears and kind of why I brought it up on this segment. Part of the podcast, this segue or whatever, is the dealers don't care. They don't care. I've been to dealers dozens of times for this car, and for actual problems, problems like I'm not making up out of thin air, and they do not care. They say, "Oh, it's normal. We fixed it," and then I drive away, and 30 minutes later it's back. But because I live so far away from a Hyundai dealer, it's like, oh, it's fighting a losing battle, or they just don't look at it at all, and they give me heck about it when just down the road. It just drives me nuts that they don't stand by the car.
To us, stop bringing your car to us. We worked on it. We tried our best. Now go drive away. Go drive a broken car.
Yeah, no, you take your stupid car, stand by your product, and fix the problems.
That's the thing. Yeah, they got to fix the problems.
But I don't know. It's just my luck. It's just my luck with all the cars. Nobody else has my issues. Nobody I know. And
maybe you should just get a used car at this point on.
Well, see, that's the thing. A used car doesn't make the dang noises and has the same problems that I deal with a brand new car, which is why I bought brand new.
Which brand new shouldn't run into those problems. If you get a used car, yeah, you're going to run into those problems. My car is used. My check engine light is on 24/7. I mean, I can clear the codes. I can go and get fixed, but at the end of the day, it's still going to pop right on.
Yep.
But maybe I should get it fixed to get rid of that check engine light. But you know what? It's a 2004 Camry with over 220,000 miles. Yeah. If the worst comes to worst, any significant repair is going to cost more than the car.
It's just just like, meh.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I just wish Hyundai would stand by their product. The main thing is I wish Hyundai would stand by their product, and I didn't have such a crappy customer service experience with them. That's that's my 2 cents.
What sucks is the people who work at Hyundai, like the salespeople, they sell you the car. They to their knowledge, it's a really good car.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you can't blame the salesman. I know a whole bunch of great salespeople, and their customer service is great. I mean, they're trying to sell you a car, obviously, to get money. That's very true. Yeah, I was going to say my salesman was very good. He's a very good guy. But when it goes to the mechanics, if they're not like, you're still getting paid. So if you're trying to fix a car here, you should work hard to get that car fixed, and then that word of mouth will spread. Oh, don't go to the back of the dealership. They won't fix your car. They don't care what's wrong with it. They're going to just throw some duct tape on it, say it's good, and then leave you on your merry way.
Yep.
So
yeah, aggravating, but that's just my 2 cents.
That's the life of cars, I guess.
The life of Sean.
The life of Sean. Life of Sean in cars.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've never really had many. Okay, that's kind of a lie. I've never really had as many problems as you. I've had consistent problems with my car, and that was all those problems I had with the car were my 2001 Toyota Camry Solera.
Yep.
And it was a good hindsight. It was a good purchase because it made sense why I would buy the car. And like I bought it when I was in high school. It was only a couple $1,000s.
Yep.
I mean, it was beaten up a little bit, but you know what? For a first car, I can't complain. But when I didn't drive it near as much as I should, but the amount of battery problems that I ran into. First, my battery would died on me, which
I remember that. Mean,
sucks.
That's common, kind of, but
it's common. It sucks. But then right after that, I would say a couple months later, the alternator goes out. So I had to spend a couple $100 more on an alternator, and then I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm selling the car. And before I was selling the car, I was having more battery problems, and so be it, the freaking sparks plug start going out. And along with that, I had some more issues in the battery I didn't even know that you could have any more problems with that.
Yeah, that thing had some serious electrical issues.
I think I put in I owned that car for what, 2 or 3 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years. I probably put well into $1,000 in repairs for that to fix that car. And because I know I spent $300 to fix the alternator, then another $300 when I was trying to sell it. So that was really taxing and annoying to deal with. But yeah, I can totally understand the problems with car troubles. So, and I don't know what it's like dealing with a dealership that doesn't really seem to give a crap about that. But
aggravating.
That's definitely dealerships. That's right.
4 of them now.
Yeah, that's why I like always, since you bought it under like in the last 2 years, it's probably all under warranty.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go there to get, so you don't have to pay. But that's why that's one nice thing about dealing with mechanics is they will actually work while you have to pay some money. Make sure that the car is running properly.
Yep.
And
they're more. I think they're more qualified than these warranty guys. Like it drives me crazy that I have to go back to the dealer 5,000 different times to go back later. Whereas, I had people tell me, well, take it to a regular mechanic and then, have him fix it and then just, suck it up and pay the cash. I shouldn't have to, though.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to with a 2-year-old car.
Yeah, I mean hindsight, maybe I could do that, but I shouldn't have to. I bought it new. I have a warranty. I need to use it, but whatever.
Yeah. It is what it is. I understand that stuff and how it grinds your gears, because honestly, that grinds everyone's gears to have to deal with that crap.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, when I'm thinking of what grinds my gears, we're going in a completely different direction. We're talking about the CMA Awards 2020. Now, while there's a lot of good music these days that I like, country music itself is going downhill.
Oh, and easily.
I had a poll up yesterday, and I was asking people, what is your country music fans? What's your favorite genre, year, era of country music? And I believe 40% of people said the early 2000s. And then the next 25% said the 1990s. And I think that was one of the best times for country music. You had Travis Tritt, you had Shania Twain, you had George Strait, you had Alan Jackson, you had Kenny Chesney, Brad Paisley was making his way onto the scene. But just in that time period, there was so much original, great music that just still works today. See, I have a 1990s, early 2000s country music playlist, and I was jamming to it today, and there's so many good songs. Tracy Byrd, I was listening to him. I was listening to some Watermelon Crawl. There were so many good, fun songs in country music that aren't nearly there today. And while I love some country musical artists, and I'm so happy Luke Combs and Scotty McCreery are just a couple of the people nowadays that try and keep country music original and to the tune of it too. Because nowadays you have all these like auto tune and music that it's pop. It's not country music. And I wish we would get more fiddle. And when I watched the CMA Awards this year, the first 20 minutes, not 20, first 10 minutes, the first showing, they did a whole tribute to Charlie Daniels, and it was beautiful. And Ashley McBride, she's another one who has a phenomenal voice and is keeping country in the female department. And it's great to see, but it still needs to get better. And not saying that I hate country music, I just don't think it's country music now anymore.
Oh, no, it's not.
Dan and Shay, I'll listen to their songs. Definitely not country, in my opinion.
Nope, definitely.
When Justin Bieber makes an appearance at the CMA Awards, you know that ain't country.
Country is heading right out.
And to quote Travis Tritt, country ain't country no more. And that's Travis Tritt is one of my favorite artists. And like he just the tone of it, how they keep the steel drum, the steel guitar. And
steel guitar,
not steel. Well, there probably is a steel drum out there.
There's some Hawaiian songs in there, the Hawaiian themed country.
But yeah, when I was watching the CMA Awards this year, I know that we're dealing with COVID and we're dealing with different times, so they couldn't have like a big show. But these artists haven't been able to perform in front of people for months, actually for probably well over a year, because of COVID. And they finally have a chance to perform in front of a whole bunch of people, and the atmosphere there was absolute crap. It was absolute crap to listen to. And thank God for Nicole Hawking, who is Luke Combs' wife. She was jumping up. She was dancing when he was performing his song. And I don't know why it's so hard for country music people in that audience to get jivey with it, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I wish they would get into the music, because it's fun. There are a lot of fun songs, and there was one song that has been released by Kelsey Ballerini called "Hole in the Bottle," and she did a remix. Well, it was a remix / collab with Shania Twain, which is so fun to see. I'm a huge Shania Twain fan.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I am not afraid to say this. When I was 6 years old, I would sit in the back of the car and sing "Man, I Feel Like a Woman," like whenever it came on the radio. Oh yeah, I was 6 years. She was probably my first crush. I was. Oh yeah, easily. She beautiful woman, great singer, and yeah, I still listen to a lot of her music today. "Honey, I'm Home." that was a banger. "I'm Gonna Get You Good." "You're Still the One." Oh.
I haven't heard that song in so long.
Yeah, it's so good. I heard it, listened to it the other day, and yeah, just country music like that just isn't around anymore. No, and it's something I hope that gets back into, thanks to Ashley McBride and Scotty McCreery and Luke Combs. But when you look at the awards, people are getting awarded for not making country music. And I'm not saying they aren't good songs, they just aren't country in my book. So thank God Eric Church won Entertainer of the Year, because I like a lot of his country songs, and I know a lot of people in the industry and a lot of fans of country music, actual country music, are fans of his and are glad to see that he won. But when you see Maren Morris win for Female Vocalist of the Year for one song, I think it just gets blown out of the water. And who was it? She reminds me of a Casey Musgraves. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. are we rewarding people for being on the radio or rewarding people for streaming? Because there may be more people that are fans of pop that listen to Maren Morris, and because she labels herself as country, they benefit from, like, she gets voted entertainer, like female vocalist of the year. And she won for Song of the Year and Single of the Year for the same exact song. And I don't know how that's right, because it's all confusing. I mean, there should be, if you win for single, I mean, there should be another artist that wins for Song of the Year. But I'm hopeful, but I'm disappointed with how country music has fallen in the last 5 to 10 years. And it's all about these snap tracks, broke country. Grady Smith, who does a lot of YouTube videos on this topic, talks about, like, people are getting rewarded and promoted for doing this crap. And I hope country music starts going back to what it was in the 90s and early 2000s. And there's a chance that it will. There's a lot of good artists coming up that are helping it on that track. But
Luke Combs,
freaking love his music. Brooks and Dunn, man, he's when he performed at the CMA Awards this year, he was wearing a Brooks and Dunn hat, which was pretty cool too. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't watch the CMA Awards because I don't have cable, but rip. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and at the very beginning, there was, you can go look it up, down CMA Awards. The Devil Went Down to Georgia. The fiddle player there wasn't supposed to perform. Like, he wasn't originally the one that was going to do the violin there. It was actually going to be another. It was going to be another fiddleist, violinist, fiddler. The fiddler on the roof or whatever. The fiddler on the stage. But yeah, the person who was originally going to perform, they were told she had COVID and wasn't going to be there. So the guy from Dierks Bentley's band said, I'll perform. And he did an amazing job. I highly recommend you go look it up, because it's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch. But overall, that's what we need in country music. Not this snap track, auto-tune crap that is not country.
Yep.
So that's what grinds my gears when I watch the CMA Awards and I see that Maren Morris beat out Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert for Female Vocalist of the Year. And that didn't sit right with me. And yeah, I'm excited for next year, because I'm pretty confident that Luke Combs is going to win Entertainer of the Year, because obviously I'm a huge Luke Combs fan. But I wouldn't be disappointed if Carrie Underwood would win either, because she's another artist that has been kind of crapped on in the Entertainer of the Year category, because she's been one of the best female vocalists of country music in the last 20 years. Like, it's insane. And her rise to stardom on American Idol, and to see her grow into the awesome artist that she is.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't think she's won an Entertainer of the Year is just a sin against country music. And a couple years ago, who was it? Wasn't George Strait. It was, why can I shouldn't remember. I should remember, he's married to Trisha Garth Brooks. Yeah. He won 2 years ago Entertainer of the Year. He won last year. And he said he was going to opt out of this year, which some people took as cocky, arrogant, whatever. Take it what it is. I thought it should have been Carrie Underwood last year, or someone else, or Eric Church. But the fact that Eric Church won this year is great to see. So I'm hopeful, disappointed, but it grinds my gears that people are getting rewarded in country music for not being country. So
exactly. Yep. I've noticed that too. I mean, it's just, I really miss those 90s and 2000s days. The Toby Keith. When's the last time you heard a Toby Keith song?
Been a while.
Good Brad Paisley.
Yeah. I like a Brad, There's No I in Beer was a fun song.
That was a good one. Yeah.
And especially fit with the times.
Yeah.
But Toby Keith, he hasn't really had anything good in the last 10 years either.
Yeah.
But his early stuff was really good.
Yeah, they need to make country like that again. Like, they need to make those, I don't know, more steel, more fiddle, more steel guitar, less drums because wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it has. Yeah, it's not rock, and it's not electronic drums either. Where you. You know what I mean? But but like, hey, we don't need any of that stuff. Like, give us that old fashioned country music.
Yeah, the thing about country is in the songwriting too. It's a lot of it. The stuff back then was fun. It was purposeful,
appropriate.
Now it's just, I like my girl. I love her. I throw her in my pickup truck bed and
drink a bunch of beer. We make love and drink a bunch of beer.
That's pretty much every country song nowadays. Yep. And while I'm not saying I don't listen to it, there's some. I just don't think it's like original. Great country original music.
Yep.
Like when you listen to "Whiskey Lullaby" by Brad Paisley and Alison Krauss.
Oh man.
That's a beautiful, beautiful song with such a touching and emotional story.
It is,
and
yeah.
If you go listen to Chris Stapleton's Fire Away, he's another artist who just focuses on the storytelling of his songs and keeps it original with country.
Yep.
And he focuses on the word, the lyrics, and then the words of it. So that's what I like to talk about when I'm listening to country music. Good stuff. That was a good show this week. I liked it. A lot of good topics. A lot of great things we were able to dive deep into with games, and then gaming consoles, cars, and then country music and music itself. So, thank you guys for listening. Yeah. What? Can
I add one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
One more thing about the Xbox Series S that I neglected to cover back, but you guys should really know is how quiet that thing is. That thing, typically you get the PS4 meme of, turning it into a jet and flying away and stuff, because some of them do. But like that thing at full load makes no noise at all. Like none. You can't hear it at all. You stick your ear next to it and you can't even hear it. It blows my mind.
That's insane.
And the temperature, like there's a lot of heat coming out of that thing, but it's very well ventilated. But I figured I just want to cover that because that is a really
that
key
is something
aspect. That people should actually know.
Yeah, because you don't think about that stuff when you're buying a game. You're always focused on the game. It's like the gaming experience itself. But I notice this when I'm streaming games in my room and streaming onto Twitch. My room gets so hot. I swear it gets 5 to 10 degrees hotter in my room than it does when I don't have it on.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
The proper venting of the Xbox Series S is really good.
Yep.
And that's just another one that we have to hop into.
I just wanted to cover that before it goes. So
yeah, definitely. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to listen to this on the mobile version on the podcast site, I guess you have Spotify, iTunes, and it's on Google Podcasts now. So go look up the Grinding Gears podcast. I do have the links in my Twitter bio and below. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.